Hey guys, what's going on? This is Roth and Joshua here.
Hello.
Hello.
We're very excited for this.
Oh, good. I'm excited for you. We're gonna talk about the Legends of Tomorrow trailer that was just released. First, we just want to say that what you're gonna see here is footage from both Arrow and the Flash that's already been established, but you're also gonna see some footage that was shot specifically for this promo. So frankly, we don't know if any of it's gonna end up in the show. They're not in production yet. They're going to production shortly. But first off, they're starting by bringing in their two big superheroes, as they do, Arrow and the Flash, to introduce this new team of players, most of whom we already know, and the idea that sometimes you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a Joshua.
And an Arrow and a Flash and an Atom.
And a Captain Cold.
Yes.
Which is weird, but we'll talk about that soon. Right here, you're getting your first look, a scene on the rooftop, which they love to do.
They love to talk on rooftops.
They love it. So you probably will see this. There's a good chance. Of the team.
But yeah, they're about to go into each character, so we're just gonna fast forward or let it play here and get into each person of team legend, team of tomorrow.
Team of Tomorrow Legends okay, so this is our Hawk Girl.
Yes, this is the Kendra Saunders version, and her thing is that they say she has a past lives complex.
Mm-hmm. So she's a reincarnated character who she's over and over again. Well, this is her. We're not sure if this is going to be her backstory here, but there is hinted. And like when she is sort of called or when she is provoked, wings sprout out of her back and she becomes a warrior.
I think that would be the way to go with the wings, because in the comics it's like sometimes they're like actual wings, sometimes it's like a harness, sometimes it's something that was like welded to her back, sort of like unnaturally. So I think that the idea of just her being able to get wings and use them and then put them away kind of works for like the CW.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting too because a costume would actually have to spread onto her body too.
Yeah,
anyway,
we'll see.
The actress is Kiara Renee, who's done a bunch of Broadway. And we are looking forward to what she brings to this character.
Yeah, she's pretty, and she's flying and everything. So cool.
Look at those wings. I mean, they do look like they're sort of attached to the costume, but it's hard to tell.
It's hard. Yeah, we'll probably get a good look. I remember they did Hawkman in Smallville, and I think they were just like a harness that he put on. But it looks pretty cool. I don't see the mace in her hand. Her nth metal mace that gives her a lot of extra powers. And lets her bash people in the head. But I'm hoping we get that. And this
Aren't we all?
Oh my gosh. I lost my mind when I saw this.
So this is Katie Lutz, who obviously played the Sarah on Arrow, and she was the original Canary before her sister Laurel took over as Black Canary. Now she is White Canary, and as suspected, because obviously Sarah died this year.
Yes.
And it was like the big drama on Arrow.
Yes, that was the inciting incident of season 3.
I suspected that this is exactly what happened, that she was taken to the Lazarus pits. Did you?
I was open to the idea of them doing something else because we knew this was time travel based. So it was like, well, maybe they go back in time and grab like a younger version of her, or obviously with the Lazarus Pit, they've used it before. It's the easy way to explain it, and it also makes the character like the Lazarus Pit changes you. You know what I mean? So I feel like we'll get a new kind of version of the character now.
Which is kind of an interesting thing as the audience, but also it's possible that time travel does play a role because her body was in the grave, as far as I remember.
A long time.
Long time. She'd be all rotten and stuff. So I think maybe they did go and retrieve her when she first fell and then brought her to the pits.
I could see that happening.
But then why not just save her life? Anyway,
it's
a whole time travel
I'm sure
conundrum.
they'll explain it. Bottom line is that she was really good as the Canary, and a lot of people liked her. I'm sure they liked working with the actress, and they want to bring her back, and this is how they decided to do it. And I mean, ultimately, this is a comic book TV show, and comic books love to like bring characters back from the life. They love making retcons and stuff, and that's just what we have here.
So she's back and fighting for it. So here we have, talk about this. This looks like it would be an insane event if it were to happen on the show, but it doesn't.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up. This is, you see like, Reverse Flash in the back there. You see Laurel's Black Canary in the back there. And this is actually just a Fight Club promo they did online of just all the characters out of continuity, just in a basement, just beating the crap out of each other.
Now, this is Wentworth Miller as Captain Cold and Dominic Purcell as Heatwave.
Yes.
And we know that Captain Cold is going to play a big role. I think this is my suspicion, is that he's going to be a bigger role on the team than Heatwave, that Heatwave will sort of pop up here and there.
Because Heatwave's not even on the roof.
But how are you also explaining, like, the whole thing in the Flash last week was like, you can't trust me, I'm Captain Cold, I'm a thief, I will betray you.
Well, that's a great question because they established that he's not trustworthy, but they also are saying that we need heroes and villains to come and like face this threat, and that it's Rip Hunter, I think, choosing the team.
Let's wait
who we'll
to
see in a
talk about
second,
him.
but not him. But yeah, we'll get there in a second.
We'll get Getting ahead of ourselves.
Then, of course, we have, the Atom right here, who who's sort of become the Iron Man of the team.
And we saw this when he did his crossover into the Flash role. We saw that footage, but this is him, I think, injecting the humor on the team. I think he'll be sort of like the Felicity or the Cisco who brings the humor.
Yeah, and there's a great look at White Canary's new outfit.
What do you think?
I like it. It's sort of like weathered. It's not like pure white. And
I feel like it's very impractical to fight
Very impractical to fight. At least it's not a skirt.
No, I mean, it looks good. It looks militant, but I just mean to fight in white. So, okay, let's talk about this.
There's Firestorm.
There's Firestorm. Now, we know that one half of Firestorm, Victor Garber, as Dr. Martin Stein, is going to be on the show. However, Robbie Amell has not signed up and may not sign up. So he's one half of Firestorm.
Yeah, so how are they going to explain that? We don't really know.
But they did say there will be an explanation.
Okay, yeah. So we will get the explanation, but we don't know. So that's interesting. Yeah, and the thing I actually am hoping for is that he's pretty much the Human Torch. He just shoots fire in this. I want him to actually get his superpowers where he can like transmute elements and turn them into different things. Like that's sort of what's cool about Firestorm. So I hope we do get some of that.
So who is this? This seems to be the minions of our big bad Vandal Savage, who we'll talk about in a minute. But that's our best guess about who that army is.
Yeah, they don't look familiar to me. Like their armor isn't, and those little laser blasters. That sort of seems kind of generic goons to me.
So this big shadow, Oliver was just telling them like, this is your enemy. He's basically giving them the locker room pep talk and being like, your enemy is this Vandal Savage, who's this immortal, very big DC villain.
Yeah, he was a caveman who got, irradiated by a meteorite, and then he's just lived, and he's just been a source of pain and crime and corruption throughout history. And so this immortal villain is this time traveling team's enemy. And now we get the ringleader.
I'm so excited. So this is Arthur Darvill. Pardon me. Forgive me, fellow Doctor Who fans. This is Arthur Darvill, who obviously he played Rory, who was a big companion on Doctor Who when Matt Smith was Doctor Who. He was Amy Pond's lover, friend, husband eventually. Anyway, he basically has gotten an upgrade, and now he's like a Time Lord. He's Rip Hunter. Talk about Rip Hunter.
Rip Hunter is...
that's a broad analogy.
Yeah, he's from the future, and he's part of like the Time Masters who are sort of monitor time. And I guess something's wrong with Vandal Savage, and he is like here to round up this team of good guys and bad guys to fix the problem.
They described him as like a Han Solo-esque type character.
Yeah,
He's very
roguish.
He looks roguish to me.
And it's got that accent. So, and also the one problem I sort of have with them you choosing Rip Hunter is because I really, really, really wanted to see Booster Gold, who's another time traveling hero, and his little companion robot Skeets. But actually, in the comics, Rip Hunter is the son, fully aged up, to become Booster Gold's boss. Like Booster Gold's son then becomes his boss because of time travel. Whatever.
I'll take Arthur Darvill. So
I'm just hoping
character.
that they use this to somehow bring in Booster Gold in the future, because I know a lot of these showrunners, they've said in the past that they're fans of.
Now this is interesting because initially you would look at this and go, "Oh, this must be
Rip Hunter."
Must be Rip Hunter
because he's talking about time travel.
But
look at that ring there on his hand. That's the Flash ring. And then actually, I'm gonna scroll back here for a second for something. But this is Harrison Wells, the reverse Flash.
So we don't know if this is actually from the finale of Flash that's airing next week. But we assume, since obviously he's a time traveler and they're talking about time travel, that those two storylines will interweave somehow. And that Barry and Oliver will sort of pop in and out of this world. As well.
And I could imagine maybe Rip Hunter's like, hey. Harrison Wells was mucking with the time stream, so that was fixed maybe by Flash, but we have other problems to deal with. Also, I want to go back here just for a second. This thing in the foreground that's out of focus, that is the helmet of the original Golden Age Flash, Jay Garrick. It's like Apollo's, is it or is it Mercury's helmet from the Greek gods?
I think it's Mercury.
The one who runs really fast, whatever. This is so that's really cool. I don't know what that would be doing in the future because he's like a Golden Age retro hero, but that's just awesome to see.
Nice little Easter egg. All right, so the other thing that we're sort of assuming is that he's talking about this entire team, or not assuming, but we're guessing, is that the team will be traveling through various places in time.
Yeah. So will they be like going back to the 40s, or are they going to the future, or like will this team be time traveling? That's an interesting.
And is this sort
idea.
of is this we're wondering if this is sort of a look at what would happen if they don't come together and if they don't win? Like if Rip sort of takes them here and is like, look, if you don't get your stuff together and work it out and be a team, this is what happens to the Earth.
Yeah, weeds will just grow everywhere. It will be awful.
It'll just be nature everywhere.
This is a world controlled by Vandal Savage. Gardening. Nightmare.
Wormhole.
So yeah, the rest of the trailer is just them fighting, which is really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're not exactly sure that any of this will show up in the show because...
Ow, would not want to be that guy.
We're not sure if any of this is going to show up in the show because this was shot specifically for the promo. However, there is one thing that I am very much hoping that they pay off on. It's coming up here in a minute, and it involves a big foot. Oh, not this flirting.
Oh. Yeah, to say
is
that.
Fine, but it
Boom.
says, like, okay, so what is this? Is that like a Jaeger? What's going on?
I think it's one of the Power Rangers, Zords. No, DC has a lot of iconic robots, but all of them are human-sized. I couldn't think of anyone that's a giant, that would be this big, have a foot this size. So we'll have to wait and see. CW never does anything without, giving a wink to the comics or putting a little chestnut in there. So I'm assuming this will be a robot from the comics, but I couldn't tell you which one right now. It's not Brainiac. First of all, he's a movie-level villain for me, but he's really, really big. Just something for them to fight. Vandal Savage getting some robots to do his bidding, I imagine.
Maybe they're future robots.
Future robots with big feet.
Well, they're big robots. They don't necessarily have big feet. I think they're proportional.
Okay. Well, the robot's probably really sensitive. I take it back.
And again, the rest of this is sort of, I think, just trying to give us as the audience hints about what the action will look like. They did this very quickly, so the effects are, I think they're fine for this promo. What do you think?
It looks good to me.
I think
we've only seen these quick shots of Hot Girl, who I really want to see in full costume, but very fuzzy, but you can kind of see her helmet. It looks like she has the helmet, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be an expensive show to make week to week, to be honest with you. But I like the look of it, and I like the idea of this team. I think this is an interesting group of people to get together, although you got some splaining to do with a few of them.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of mysteries going into it, but also, I love this shot. This is sort of like the money shot of them flying through the sky together, and it feels like the almost the Avengers on TV.
Yeah.
But this is DC's version. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I'm excited for the show. You, Joshua?
I am very excited. And, actually, we had the last thing here. First of all, she's like, didn't you die? Obviously, because we saw him get caught in a big explosion.
Spoilers for last week's The Flash, by the way.
Oh, wait, or was it Arrow?
I think it was The Flash.
Arrow?
No, it was Arrow. You're right. It was Arrow.
Yeah.
Sorry, the finale of Arrow.
Yeah. So, but it looks like he's fine, and he's explaining that it's because he went
became
tiny,
small.
And we've been sort of waiting for this ever since we first heard the Atom was going to be. It's almost cute, the little jumps he takes. Ever since we heard the Atom was going to be part of this, and he's just sort of been Iron Man, but now he's actually going to turn small and be...
He's going to be Ant-Man and Iron Man in one. So 2016, yes. We're not exactly sure when it's going to air. It goes into production soon. And my guess is I think that Victor Garber had said, I think we're coming in January, but that's unconfirmed. That's me speculating.
Anything could happen. But yeah, this looks sweet.
Yeah.